Hi babies, it's me, Grandma Peters, and today Cheddar's with me. So I decided to read another book about cats. I know I've read a couple others that have cats in them. This one is called Ghost Cat, and it's by Eve Bunting. Let's see if Cheddar stays for the whole story. I'm a cat, a ghost cat. My name is Sailor Boy. I live in the Port Carrick Lighthouse with my friend, Miss Maggie McCullen. She's been the lighthouse keeper for many years. I was her ordinary cat once, and when I passed away, I made my decision not to leave. So here I am. The people of Port Carrick are proud of Miss Maggie. She keeps that big light going, they say. Never misses a night. Without her, there'd be boats smashed to pieces on the rocks. You can't count the lives Miss Maggie and her light have saved. Boats often pass close to the lighthouse and sound their horns to thank her. Aye, the people of Port Carrick murmur, but it's a terrible lonely life she lives out there all by herself in that lighthouse. They don't know about me, Sailor Boy. I can be visible or invisible, whichever and whenever I choose. It's fun. I like daytimes in the lighthouse. She's mopping the floor of the lighthouse here, and here they're out on a picnic, and here they're just taking a nap, which is my favorite thing. You like taking naps, Cheddar? Taking naps with Grandma Peters? But I like night times more. When the sun sets red on the horizon and dusk drapes itself over the ocean, our duties begin. Miss Maggie and I climb the 50 steps round and round and round to the lighthouse tower. She does all she needs to do to start the big beacon so it shines its warning across the dark ocean. I watch, I know it all by heart. Miss Maggie pets me. You could run this lighthouse by yourself, Sailor Boy. You're one smart cat. I know. Now and then we have visitors who pay to see the lighthouse. Imagine. I like to make myself invisible and tease them with ghostly purrs or a scratch at an ankle. Sometimes I even tug on a shoelace till it comes loose or drag a tissue out of an open purse. Such fun to watch their faces. If Miss Maggie sees, she frowns, and I stop. But one day, a man stepped on my ghost tail, and I let out a howl. The visitors stared round, and someone said in a scared voice, "What was that?" Miss Maggie calmed them. "Oh, sometimes a crow lands on top of the tower and screeches. All is well again, except for my tail." Time passes, visitors come and go. Today, Sissy Curry, a niece to Miss Maggie, has come for a visit. I thought she was a little foolish, for I could see a storm was brewing. She was to leave before dark, but it's dark already, and the wind is screaming, and the sea is snarling at the rocks. Now she has to stay the night. I stay invisible. Sometimes visitors make too much of a fuss over me. "Sissy," Miss Maggie says, "it's time for me to go up and light the light." She leaves her niece in the kitchen, at the kitchen fire with a cup of hot cocoa. Then she and I hurry up the steps to the tower, round and round and round. But catastrophe! In her haste, Miss Maggie trips on step 30 and can't get up. "It's my ankle," she groans. "It must be broken." "Sissy," she calls. "Sissy, come here. Sissy, Sissy." But her niece can't hear through the shrieks of the wind and the battering of the waves. I take a minute to comfort my friend, laying my face against hers. Then I become visible and leap down all the steps to fetch Sissy. "Oh my," she says, I didn't know Aunt Maggie had a cat. She tries to pet me. I have to make her understand what has happened. I run to the steps and back, mewing as loudly as I can. Run and come back, run and come back. Please, Sissy, listen to what I am telling you. At last she understands and follows me to the steps. Up, 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 round, round, round. She sees Miss Maggie. Oh, Aunt Maggie, hold on to me. I will get you down. But Miss Maggie gasps. No, child. Go up and light the beacon. There are lives at stake. I don't know how, Sissy begins, but Miss Maggie's voice is more forceful. Go, sailor boy. Sailor boy will show you. Your cat? Yes. I run ahead of her up the rest of the steps. The lighthouse seems to rock in its gusts of wind. The big beacon stands dark and still. I know what to do. I jump to where the matches are kept, and then to the wick, touching each with my paw, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, Sissy understands. Hallelujah! She lights the wick and the giant beacon comes to life, cutting through the dark night and shining out its warm beam. You're wonderful, Sissy tells me. I think she is too. We hurry down to see Miss Maggie. Is it lit? She asked. It is. Now we'll take care of you. In the kitchen, she wraps cold rags on Miss Maggie's ankle. The wind blasts around the walls, and Sissy has to shout, soon as the storm has passed, I'll go fetch Dr. Smith, and I can stay for a while and look after you in the light, now that your extraordinary cat has shown me how. But I don't see him. Where is he? Oh, he's around, Miss Maggie smiled at invisible me. Sometimes he just likes to disappear. I suppose maybe I am extraordinary, but who wants to be ordinary? The end. Now there's a little page here at the end. It's called the author's note, and I just thought it was kind of exciting. So I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to show you the pictures because there's a lot of words and no pictures. It's a little bit of a history on lighthouses. Lighthouses are towers with beacon lights and are built near shores of large lakes and oceans. The bright light warns ships and other watercraft of hazard ahead. The hazards might be sharp rocks or hidden reefs, which could sink a ship if not seen in time. Before there were lighthouses, people on shore lit huge warning fires that they hoped could be seen by ships at sea. How many lives and how many ships have been saved by lighthouses? The number cannot be counted. Lighthouse keepers, men and women or families, lived in small houses nearby or in quarters within the tower. They were responsible for keeping the beacon lit. It was a lonely life filled with never-ending work. Thunder, lightning, gale-force winds, and that rocked the tower could not stop them from their duties. The light must never fail. In the beginning, the light came from candles. Then in the 1870s from lamps fueled by whale oil, then kerosene. Later, electricity was used. Several improvements in the lamps, as the beacons were called, came during the 1800s. The gas crocus burner, invented by John Richardson Wingham, produced light that was 13 times stronger and more brilliant than any light ever seen before. And the Fresnel lens, invented in 1822, allowed the light to be seen from even a greater distance. I guess that Cheddar doesn't like the history of lighthouses, but that's okay, it's almost done. Technology in modern times has brought more changes. Now the lamp in the tower is automatic and there's no need for a lighthouse keeper. But the old stories are remembered, stories of lighthouse keepers who rowed out in their small dinghies to save drowning sailors, story of ice and snow and marooned keepers for months on end. Many lighthouses still stand Maintained in the United States by the U.S. Coast Guard. They fascinate landlubbers. Some have been changed into bed and breakfast lodgings. The visitor can lie in bed and watch the lamp sweep across the dark ocean, as it had probably done for more than 200 years. And this is a little note from the author as well. It says, a few years ago, my husband and I saw an ad in an Irish newspaper, lighthouse for sale. We were excited. The lighthouse was on the northern coast of Ireland, facing the Irish Sea, with its storms and crashing waves. But alas, someone else bought it before we could. So sad. We might even have found a ghost cat in residence. Sleep well and imagine. My babies, I miss you so much, and I wish that you were here with me or I were there with you. But just remember, I love you and I enjoy our story time together. And remember, you're my favorite. Don't tell anyone.